All right, hello, hello, hello. It's so exciting to be with another podcast of the Black Wealth Experience podcast. And this is Brian Arnold. And today's guests are you're going to be pretty excited about. They're with First Bank. It's Alexis Porter and Roberto Avila. And just wanted to we have a Black Wealth Summit, Housing Summit coming up. It's on June 19th. And on June 19th, from 5:30 to 7:30 at Cross Purpose, which is on the corner of Colorado Boulevard and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And we are there to make sure that we get you into a home. Our number one goal is to figure out how to get you into a home. So we want to match you up with a real estate agent, with a loan officer, with some financial advice, with an insurance, and with credit repair if that's what's needed. And so for those of you who haven't signed up yet, you go to the blackwealthexperience.org, the blackwealthexperience.org, and go ahead and RSVP, and we'll look forward to seeing you on June 19th, which is only about 14 days away from when we're recording this. And if you're listening to it after and you missed it, that's okay. This is going to be some incredible information that you guys are going to get today. So the Black Wealth Housing Summit, June 19th. And so one of the things that I always say every time that we do one of these is we want to know whose mortgage are you paying? And if the answer is not your own, then we need to get you into a home. You know, the example that I give, let's say you're paying $2,000 a month for an apartment. You times that by 12 months, that's $24,000 a year that you're paying for that apartment or for that rental place. You times that by 10 years. If you stay in that same apartment for 10 years, then you're paying $240,000. You pretty much paid for that unit, which is incredibly high when you don't have to. And so the myth of having to put 20% down to buy a house is no longer, so you don't have to do that. And so today, there's a couple programs that I really want you to know about, and it's through First Bank, which is a Colorado company, I believe, and they have been in our neighborhoods for a long time. They're incredible at community banking. They want to get down into the nitty gritty of helping you get a home, and so I have Alexis and Roberto on the line today, and I want them to introduce themselves. I want them to talk about how you can get a hold of them, and then maybe kind of start out a little bit, guys, with your story about how you ended up in this space, and then we'll move into the programs that you have. So you guys go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Roberto Avila. It's good to be here with you, Brian. Um, I guess I started with First Bank about a little over 2 years ago with their internship program, did their management trainee, now lending for them. I was born and raised here in Denver, Colorado, so a native to the area, but I'm happy to give back to the community that saw me grow up as well.
Awesome. Brian, I would like to say thank you for having us first and foremost. My name is Alexis Porter. I'm an assistant vice president at the Havana and Island branch for First Bank. August will make it 4 years that I've been with the bank, and a little bit similar to Roberto, I started with the management training program. After 6 months of that, was promoted to a banking officer and then later promoted after my 3rd year. I'm not a Denver native, but I am here to give back. I love helping minorities and bridging that gap to provide access to home ownership.
Oh, absolutely. It's so cool that you guys are here, and that First Bank is leading the way in some programs that are specifically, well, maybe, that have a more minority lean to it, where they're saying, we realize that there are some deficits in the Black and brown communities, and we want to help bridge that gap and close that gap, because we realize that there is a gap. And so anything that we can do on our end, anything that you guys can do on your end, I think it's going to help us all out together. So why don't you just kind of talk about some of the things that has been happening at First Bank? What are some of the programs that you have? And why would somebody want to come over to you guys to get it? But make sure you give us how to get a hold of you, whether at the beginning of it or after it, so that if somebody wants to get a hold of you, they can.
Yeah, most definitely. So one of the programs that First Bank offers is the PATH program, which stands for Providing Access to Home Ownership. First Bank is a relationship lender, and one of the things that they're known for is banking for good for their employees, for the community, and for their customers. And so the PATH program is something that has been in the works for quite some time, but it was officially launched June 19th of 2021. It is a down payment assistance program for borrowers that identify as Black and or African American. It is a grant, so therefore the funds are truly being given to you towards your closing costs or your down payment, whichever you would like to utilize it for. And it is $10,000. So we've been able to help a plethora amount of families throughout the Denver metro area, approximately 172 families over the course and span of 2 years, and originated about 7.9 million with PATH and Dearfield alone, but just with PATH, it's been about 4.9 that we've been able to originate and give to our customers. There's also a second program that we offer, and it's called the Dearfield Fund, and then I'll allow Roberto to chime in on how that program works, how we've been able to help a plethora amount of families, and what that fund looks like once it's rewarded to the customer.
Thank you, Alexis. Yeah, so the second program that we offer here is the Dearfield Fund. This is the equity share program, silent second lien on the home of the purchase, which means that no monthly payments have to be made on the amount that's borrowed. It does have to be paid back at the end of 15 years when the property's sold or when the mortgage itself is refinanced. Whichever comes first. So the 15-year term, I would say, even throughout that time, there's no interest accruing on that principal amount. So it's another great benefit of the program. You can use the funds towards down payment, closing costs, and you can really pair both for the same purchase. So it's not that you're limited to one. As Alexis mentioned, the programs are for borrowers that self-identify as Black and or African American. But with that, you also have to be a first-time home buyer, take a first-time home buyer's course. We collaborate, partner with Impact Development Fund to get those funds approved and applied towards the purchase. You can get a hold of me. Phone number at 303-456-2288 or email roberto.avila@1stbanks.com. And Alexis.
Yeah, and my direct phone number is 303-696-2934 or email alexis.porter@1stbank.com. With these first-time homebuyers, we do like to schedule a time to sit down and discuss what the program looks like. So we discuss what the underwriting process is going to look like, the type of financials that we're going to request, the time frame of what it's going to look like to get you guys pre-qualified, and the criteria we look at when it comes to a credit profile. We will drop our contact information inside of the chat. But once again, we will always be available at the First Bank location off of Havana and Island.
So can anybody in the community in this Denver metro area go to any of the First Banks, or do they have to go to your location in order to take advantage of this program?
They can go to any First Bank. So it's not just our location. I mean, we are a little bit more knowledgeable on it because we see a lot more of these type of loans within the Arapahoe County area, but any First Bank loan officer would be able to assist our customers.
Of course, but of course we want them to go to you guys, and we want them to see you guys, but I just want to make sure that was available. One of the things, yeah. So let's say I'm Joe, home wanting to buy person, and I'm walking out of my apartment one day, and I go, you know what? I think I want to buy a house. What is it that I need to come to you with, or what do I need to bring to you with when I sit down with you in order, and what qualifications do I need in order to go through this process?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that our clients are successful throughout the process, that we're not setting them up for failure. So I would say we do sit down with them, or even through the phone call, chat through the scenarios to get a little bit more background information. With that, I personally like to do like a preliminary underwrite, just to make sure we're not hurting their credit by pulling it unnecessarily. And if it makes sense, if they want to move forward with the process, then we fill out that application, help them out through that process as well, and start collecting those documents. What would be needed is the past 2 years of tax returns. So typically that would look like for 2022 and 2021, as well as if they're W-2 employees, the most recent month's worth of pay stubs. We also do request that, as Alexis mentioned, First Bank is a relationship banking organization. So we do request that they transfer that as part of the purchase. And it does make the process a little bit more fluid, I would say, just with another checkbox of the documents with bank statements. We can help out with setting up auto pay, making sure everything goes as it's needed or as it should.
Why would somebody come to you and not just come to any other lender? What is special about First Bank and the service that you're going to offer them that would make somebody say, I want to run over there because First Bank is part of it?
I would say because First Bank is a one-stop shop. We do it all. We do business lending, commercial lending. If there's any issue that a customer may run into, we can take care of that internally for them. So that's why I feel like establishing that relationship is very important, so that we can be able to take care of a lot of those things where a customer may have to call multiple different departments, or unlike other financial institutions, they have to call within a certain window. First Bank, we offer 24-hour service around the clock, and so there will always be someone for them to get a hold of.
Yeah, that's a great point that Alexis mentions. To that, I would say that we are able to offer like other products, agency products, but even in those scenarios, we're still their service or their point of contact. So they know who they're dealing with at the end of the day. It's not someone, say, across the country or automated machine that they have to speak to. It's a real life human being.
Yeah, do you guys have any stories of anybody that you've helped? I mean, you said you've helped 179 people in the last few years, which is a lot of people that now have homes in the Denver area that didn't have them before. Maybe you
Yeah.
could share with us a couple stories of some success stories of folks that came in and didn't believe it was possible, but walked out, a couple months later, however long it took, with keys to a new home.
Yeah, do you want to go first? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I would say one of the most memorable to me. We started the process, say, about a year ago in the summertime as well. Kept in contact. Didn't really think it was going to work out first, just based on income. My client didn't want to go for, say, a lower purchase price or smaller home. He wanted something more accommodable to his life. And throughout the months, we waited, checked in, and we were finally able to close at the end of 2022. So December time. And even though that process was prolonged a bit because my client had this dream of his first home, right? At the end of the day, he was able to get into that dream and see it flourish in real life.
Okay, Alexis.
I have a story. It was maybe my second or third path in Dearfield loan I originated. And this particular borrower had a very high DTI. And I told him, I said, don't give up, don't give up. Like, I feel like we're going to have a breakthrough. Something is going to happen. I was very optimistic. The underwriter was very optimistic. And there was a few things that we noticed that did not look right in our system at the time. And so a credit check was, of course, repulled, and we noticed that he made a payment, like on a credit card or something like that, that he didn't think to notify us of, but that tremendously affected his DTI and decreased it, which then all in all decreased his PMI payment, which got him to qualify. We started the process at the beginning of October, and by the end of December, we were able to close. Now, of course, the goal is for us to close in 30 days, but those success stories of us still hanging on, having faith, having hope, working with the customer, speaking with them on a daily basis, I feel like those are real big wins for us.
And a part of the launch of these programs, we try to educate our community. So Alexis had mentioned DTI and PMI. Real quick, for the audience that doesn't know mortgage terminology, that stands for debt to income and private mortgage insurance.
Gotcha. What?
And a lot of the terminologies that we do utilize, a lot of those things are covered in our initial conversation. So as Roberto mentioned, as Roberto mentioned, we do kind of do a preliminary underwrite at the beginning of course, meeting these customers. And so we do break down a lot of what these things mean, how to calculate them, such as DTI, what private mortgage insurance is, and how to calculate loan to value.
Gotcha. You mentioned that there's a class that folks have to go through in order to get through a couple of these programs. What kind of things are covered in that class?
Are you referring to the first time homebuyers course?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So they learn things about credit, how it's calculated, what's being assessed, what their debt to income potentially would look like on the front end, meaning before the mortgage is applied, and then the back end after the mortgage is applied, and kind of stress test from that perspective.
And just to add on to what Alexis said, I would say as well, a part of those first time homebuyers courses, just how that mortgage works in itself. A lot of times people hear the words escrow account for the first time. And that essentially just means that it's a savings account kind of tied to that mortgage, so that when the time comes, the bank, the financial institution can make property tax payments or hazard insurance payments for the property. It's another service that we offer here at First Bank.
Cool. So, when I think of, people coming in and, sitting down and sitting with you, what's your ideal customer look like? Or does it look like all of us? I mean, in your opinion, can it be anybody, that comes in, or what does somebody have to come in to you and be able to access your services have to look like? Or what would you like them to look like?
An ideal customer is anyone that is ready to make that goal possible. It may not be physically at their hands at that moment, but they have some type of hope or faith that this is something that they can achieve.
Yeah, I like that. Just having that desire to get into their first home, or even I'm a Spanish speaker, so I work with the IT demographic as well, Spanish speaking demographic. So making it whatever it takes to make it possible for the client and help them achieve their goals.
Oh, awesome. One of the things that I hear a lot with first time home buyers is, I'm scared. They say that a lot. They say, I've never done this before, whether they're 24 years old or they're 58 years old. If they've never done it before, they say they're scared. What would you say to that as far as easing their mind in this whole process?
I would say, and we hear that a lot as well, like, I'm scared. I don't know where to start. What should I do? I let them know that I'm going to be very candid with them throughout the process. because that will help them, that will allow the process to go smoother. Even though they're scared, I let them know, like, hey, I'm on your side. I understand what you're trying to accomplish, and I want to be a part of that and help you accomplish it as well. And even though it may not be one of those things that's tangible immediately, you know, we all know that that's a goal, and we know that is achievable. So even if it's something as small as providing them with resources to get them to achieve that tangible goal, those one of the things for me.
Yeah, definitely. And I would echo that it is a little bit daunting process, but I would say don't let that hold you back. Don't let it sway you in a direction. I would say, like Alexis mentioned, have faith in the process. We're here to help at the end of the day. And we do work in teams. So if by chance I might not be available, Alexis is. So we're really here at the end of the day to help out.
Oh, awesome. Well, you know, it's so great to have you guys here. I know you said that there is a $10,000 opportunity for a down payment in one of the programs. Does somebody who takes advantage of your program end up with any kind of special interest rates, or is it just kind of what's out there, or is there some kind of path, that you guys have for folks that are going through your program?
Yeah, so we offer special pricing with our down payment assistance program. So anytime we kind of attach a DPA onto a mortgage, that customer is automatically attached to what we call special pricing and things like that. So the rate would be approximately a percent less than what the actual market is at that time period.
Oh, wow, that's great to hear for those who are doing great. So again, thank you guys for being on. Please give me your information. Again, we're doing the Black Wealth Housing Summit. It's on June 19th. It is from 5:30 to 7:30. We're going to have the great folks from First Bank there. You'll be able to talk to them in person when you're there. Again, we're going to hook you up with a real estate agent, with a loan officer, with a financial advisor, with a credit repair person, with an insurance person. We want to make sure that you get into a home. That is our number one goal. The percentages of African Americans and Black and brown folks that are in our community is way too low for home ownership. And we need to do something about that and change that. So whether you are somebody who needs a house or you're dragging somebody down there that needs a house, we want you to be at this seminar. And so Alexis and Roberto, excuse me, thanks again for being on. Could you please just give us your information on how to get a hold of you again, and what numbers to call, and then any final thoughts that you would love to give. Roberto, if you want to give a little Spanish deal, or just kind of hook us up with somebody who speaks predominantly Spanish here, that would be great. I'd love to have you on today. And then you guys can just tell us how to get a hold of you again.
So yeah, we'll drop everything in the chat, but once again, Alexis Porter. So that's alexis.porter@efirstbank.com. My direct line is 303-696-2934. Or if you just want to come and see me in person, I'm at the Havana and Island location.
All right, awesome.
And thank you, Brian, for having us, for inviting us. My name is Roberto Avila. Email is roberto.avila@efirstbank.com. Direct line is 303-456-2288. And just like Alexis, I'm also at the Island and Havana Bank.
All right. Final thoughts.
I would say anything's possible. The sky's the limit. So let's get this dream achieved and come visit us.
Final thoughts for me is that we want to be a part of that. We want to be able to help you guys. And that's what the program was created for. And it's something that I'm truly passionate about. So it doesn't matter to me what it takes, as long as we achieve it and it's tangible and you have it, and it's something that you can tell a story for generations to come. And I feel like it's a wonderful feeling to have it. And we just want to be there to be a part of it.
All right, thank you. Homeownership. There's something special about homeownership, and there's something special about being able to make sure that you have your own home and the things that you're able to do. And so there are teams of people all over the area, whether you're here in Colorado or across the United States. The time is now to really start thinking about a home. Whether it's, you're thinking, well, I don't think I can do that. Well, come to the Wealth Seminar to see if you can. Watch and continue to watch these podcasts of people who continue to do it over and over again. Again, Alexis and Roberto, we thank you so much for being on today. I look forward to talking to you soon. We're going to have you back on. If you guys can come give me some more stories of folks that have done it and are continuing to do it. And the programs, if the programs change or you guys add more, please come back and see us and let us know about the changes that have made. So look forward to talking to you guys soon. Look forward to seeing you guys all at the Black Housing Summit that is going to be on June 19th. The Cross Purpose on the corner of Martin Luther King and Colorado Boulevard. You guys have a wonderful, awesome, incredible day today, and we will talk with you soon. Well, thank you for tuning into our podcast today. It has been a fantastic opportunity for us to show you exactly what we're trying to do in the community, and that is to help people to make sure that they have the ability to realize homeownership. And so my name is Brian Arnold. I am a lender. I'm with City First Financial. And so if you have questions, I'm not doing this podcast so that we can, rush all the business over to City First Financial. I'm doing this podcast so that we can make sure that you are taken care of, that you have a real estate agent, that you have a loan officer, that you have a credit repair person, that you have an insurance person, that you have a financial advisor, all working with you towards making your home ownership realization happen. We're also going to be talking about, wealth generation and what it means to pass on to the next generation. I do trust and wills and making sure that the money that you've accumulated during your lifetime actually passes on to the next generation without going through a thing called probate. And so we want to make sure that we have some unique different things that we may have talked about on this thing that can help you think about what that's going to look like. So thank you again for communicating. Go ahead and subscribe to these YouTube channels, whether it's on YouTube that you're watching the video, or if you are just listening to this on a podcast, that you are subscribing to the podcast, because we are going to have some amazing guests that are coming on and some amazing content. So thank you for the blackwealthexperience.org and getting on that and just coming in and listening to us and then taking advantage of the resources that we're hopefully and education that we're hopefully giving to you. So you have a wonderful, awesome, incredible, awestruck day. You are God's greatest gift, and I want to make sure that you know that. Talk with you guys soon.